Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've not done already, click the subscribe button and follow me across all my social media platforms. That wasn't great. That fight, yeah, the yard fight got me gassed, yeah. I'm still gassed till now. Oh my god, yeah. The yard fight got me gassed. This one, absolute snooze fest, bruv. Yo, it was a snooze fest, yeah. Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. Do you know what? First question I want to get off the gates, yeah. Based on this performance, do you think Devin Haney is good enough to beat Jojo Diaz, or even a good Teofimo Lopez? I'm gonna leave that question with you guys, because let me know in the description box below. Because based on what I'm seeing right now, Devin Haney is good. But to beat these guys, I think you got to be great. These guys have beaten great opponents. Okay, Jojo Diaz beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez beat Vasily Lomachenko. And based on the display I've seen it today, I am very concerned about Devin Haney and whether he can mix it. Okay, well, let's talk about the fight, yeah, because there's a lot to talk about. Even though it was a bit dry, there's a few talking points, and so I'm gonna get into it. Okay, Devin Haney started the fight off a little bit dominant, controlling the distance with a good jab. Jojo not doing too much in the beginning in round one, but we're coming up to round two. Devin Haney increased the more jab to the body and tried to slow him down that way. Jojo decided that Jojo would look slow, man, from the earlier part of the fight. Overall, for the first, I would say, first 1 to 2 rounds, Jojo looked flat. Devin just playing around, jabbing, as he would do. Round 3, Jojo steps up a little bit more, but just increases the temperature, increases the heating slightly. But Devin, unfortunately for Jojo Diaz, Devin was just keeping on that same sort of tempo, just increasing it slightly, but keeping on that same sort of tempo. Coming up to round 4, Devin Haney gets put into deep waters. Jojo Diaz increases the activity. Devin, do you know what I've noticed? Yeah, and this is what happens throughout the fight. Okay, when Jojo increases that activity, his power isn't devastating knockout power, in my opinion, which leads me to believe that if another gentleman like a Teofimo Lopez or Ryan Garcia or somebody of that ilk could pull off those very similar shots, I think Haney could go out and they could get Haney the hell out of it, in my opinion. Because the way that Jojo was throwing, the landing cleanly, I think a man with a little bit of extra power, a bit more ferociousness within that punch, I think could get Haney and knock him down at least, or really, really, really hurt him. Linares did it, and again, I think towards the later on in this fight, I think Jojo hit Devin with a shot very similar to how Linares hit Devin with a shot that knocked him down. And look, overall, in the first sort of half of the fight, Haney sort of obviously dominated, but Jojo's increasing the temperature just very slightly. But he started off super slow. But when you start off that slow, when you increase the temperature just slightly, increase your output, increase all of these things, you're starting from way behind. It looks like you're progressing, but it's not good enough from the get-go. And that's how I've seen it with Jojo Diaz. Round 5, round 6, 7, Haney looking absolutely just, I don't know what it is. He looks slow. He looks sluggish. He didn't look sharp. His only best attribute in this fight was his slipping or rolling under the shots. But apart from that, his jabs were half decent. He was playing the games that Jojo Diaz wanted to play. And he wanted to fight inside, wanted a firefight. And then in round 9, both fighters were just scrapping it out. That was a good round. I like round 9. Very good round. Scrapping it out, going hell for leather. Why Haney was doing that, it's completely beyond me, because based on how I see Jojo Diaz, I think Haney should have just kept on his distance, jab, 1-2s, etc. But how Haney was throwing, he was throwing on the gloves. You just keep landing on the gloves. Yeah, guys, it's 4-8, but 5:26. Wow, it's a man. Anyway, guys, so if I muddle up my words, please forgive me. Okay, but round 9 was a good round. They were scrapping heavily, and I really enjoyed it. Round 10, Haney with no. Do you know what I've noticed it in this round particularly? And when I watched it in this round, I kind of clocked it what he was doing throughout the fight. Haney was sort of gradually appearing or finding his way in the corner, and when every time he ended up reaching to a corner. That's when Jojo Diaz really just let off a lot of shots that some of them really hurt Haney. But despite all of that, he still managed to appear back in certain corners, which leads me to believe that does Haney have any or a decent level of ring positional awareness? And I know this sounds mad, but some people are aware that, okay, if I get into the corners or certain corners, that the fighters will, or their opponents will, like, hit you to the body and really maul you. And if you don't want to be mauled, you want to stay far away from those corners. Stay far away. Pick up whiskers, yeah. But Haney, even though Diaz didn't really hurt him when he was in the corners, it caused some level of concern in my opinion, and I think they should be looking at that as an area of improvement. And with regards to Devin Haney, round 11, we're not talking about that. That was a rubbish round, man. But again, when every time Jojo hurt Haney, Haney's legs would kind of fold. It would bend in a certain way. And then round 12 was a fast start from Diaz, but he gassed out, and then Haney just sort of cleaned up for the rest of the round. Judges scored in 117, two judges scored in 117, 111, 116, 111, by unanimous decision to Devin Haney. Flat performance, didn't really think he was too great. I would overall score him 6 out of 10. Really, 6 out of 10. I don't know if it's 6 out of 10 based on his standard or 6 out of 10 in general. I'm going to just say 6 out of 10 in general, okay? Because I need to see a 10 out of 10 performance from Haney to really gauge a benchmark, and I haven't really seen that before. Now, because he won this fight, it really does solidify the next fight with regards to Jojo KAMBOSOS. I really want that fight to take place. They're talking about this happening in Australia, but do you know what it is? With how everything is set up with regards to the power, the money in the sport, if it does happen in Australia, this is huge, man. You've got Sky Nicholson, you've got Ebony Bridges, you've got Jojo KAMBOSOS. If these lot fight in Australia, it's going to be a mazza. Yeah, it's going to be mad. Yeah, and that's going to ignite a bunch of Australian, Aussies, upcoming fighters that, you know what, we can do this thing. You know, we can build our little kingdom, our little community, our little village around here. Yeah. So if you man come to this part of the world, you lot know it's about to be long for you. Yeah, it's a long flight and it's a long day when you get into the ring. So I don't mind a good fight in Australia. Oh, actually, wait, what's the timings gonna be? That is a great question. Let me know. Any Aussie fans, do let me know. If it was like 7 p.m. Australian time, what is the UK time? Let me know so I can kind of gauge an understanding. Okay. But very flat performance. How I see it, I don't. Do you know what it is? I thought Haney could beat KAMBOSOS after KAMBOSOS last week, but now I'm really thinking otherwise. I have my doubts now. Now I'm really having my doubts. I think KAMBOSOS can. I don't know, man. I have to look into it in greater detail, but based on just the power factor, I think KAMBOSOS could cause Haney a little bit of problems. The only bit where Haney has a way out of winning or an advantage is the timing of the defensive timing, where he slips shots or he steps back and gets in and out of range. That sort of timing, if he gets that part right, he can beat George. But the power factor is a factor really to consider. We need Haney at his best to beat George KAMBOSOS, if provided George KAMBOSOS is going to be at his best. And George is going to be really motivated. If this happens in Australia, he's going to be gassed. He's going to be ready, yeah? So overall, better fights are upon Devin Haney, but I'm seeing every more fight I'm seeing Devin Haney, I'm seeing more chinks in the armor. But this has been sort of your fight reaction. Other fights on the card, you had Filip Hrgović with a very decent performance, but I weren't too wild away with Filip Hrgović. I would say I'm not seeing this huge hype from Filip Hrgović. I'm not seeing it. I need to see a lot more from him for me to gauge a full understanding. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing this huge hype with regards to Filip Hrgović, but that's just me. Jessica Caswell, good win for her, but yeah, it was a decent card, decent. But I'm still gassed about the Yard versus Arthur fight. Yeah, listen, go gas me up. Yeah, big you guys up. Thank you for watching this video. If you got to the end of this video, guys, yeah, I'm gonna do a little challenge. If you got to the end of this video, put in how would I decipher this? Okay, put in a British flag, a Union Jack flag in the description box below. Okay, I might give you guys a prize. Okay, so Union flag, sort of an emoji in the description box below. But thank you very much for watching this video. Like the video, subscribe. Peace, love, and prosperity. I'm gonna catch you guys in a bit. Peace.